Buddy.
Going?
Good. How you doing?
Well,
Right on.
podcast, huh? That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. It's I just been really digging your posts in the last year.
Amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't know what it I think I know what it is, but I don't like do you find it tricky to decide on how you word your posts, and how do you decide on the things that you're posting? Because some of them are super inspirational.
Oh, I appreciate that. The best posts, I think they come out when I just am not thinking about it as much,
Right.
if that makes sense. I feel like when you get a little heady about what you're about to post, then it sounds a little bit like restrictive, and I have a mouth of a sailor and I just kind of say it like it is. And then people are like, hey, I'm into this. And so
Right.
that honesty, I think, is what's coming through.
Yeah, I think it is too. Well, thank you, Irene, for joining the Toddcast.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And I guess the first things first is, how did you handle the, COVID quarantines? I mean, I guess we're almost out of it, but then again, the Delta variant is kicking ass right now. But how's your world for the last 18 months?
Oh, I think just like with everybody at the beginning, it was very scary. I kind of went into recluse mode, obviously. But for me, it was a big time of introspection. There are so many different, there's just so many distractions that got removed, and it just forced us to be with ourselves. And that was pretty profound for me. And it made me start to make decisions for my life, the trajectory that I'm on. And I hate to say it, but it's been a good thing for me. As fucked up as that is, it's actually good. It's been a blessing in this weird way.
Oh, totally. And the thing for me, of course, I'm married, I've got 2 kids. So it's different for me than somebody that's single. Like, you almost don't even think about that aspect of COVID. Fuck, you weren't around anybody for months at a time.
Yeah.
You do this, but this is just not the same. It's not the same as having a coffee, having a beer.
Yeah, that was really tough, but I'm a bit of an introvert at heart. So
nice. Aren't we all?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And now we're almost out of it. So I think that the road is almost there, but
there's the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, totally. Right. So I guess to it, how long have you been, taking health and wellness and all that seriously?
Over 10 years now. I went through a very big weight loss journey myself. And that was, the accumulation of a lot of hardships, for sure. It brought me to this horrible place. Luckily, I was in my early 20s when I kind of had this aha moment. And it just slowly became my passion. And especially when people started to approach me and they were like, hey, what are you doing? Can you help me? I was like, what? You want me to help you? So it's been a long time, but it's just kind of unfolded very organically.
Right. And what sort of advice would you give somebody that, struggles? It's a pretty broad stroke statement, I guess.
Very broad. One of my core values is just always finding something that's sustainable. So there's a lot of flashy products or modalities or diets or whatever, and they seem like a really good option, but you have to get really real with yourself. Okay, what's blocking me? Why is it blocking me? What do I need to change in my environment? And am I actually going to stick to this for an extended period of time? And if the answer is no, then you need to adjust or find something else, or find a practitioner who can help integrate the strategies into your life. There's no one way for anybody at any given time.
No, for sure. And how many people are you helping out right now?
Right now, I just have a couple of clients under my wing. I'm not taking one-on-ones so much right now. I'm building a course online that I'm going to be selling. So I've just been focusing on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And surfing your website today, irenejay.com, irenejay.com. You talk about this 3-step process to having a healthy relationship with your body. First and foremost, you've got awareness, strategies, integration. There are a ton of incredible transformations on your website as well. You're saying that you're heavier and you're slimmer now. You must be I mean, that must be one of the main things like that you're proud of. Hey.
Oh, absolutely. And this process was one of those, and again, one of those profound moments where I was just like, look, like there's no one strategy that's going to work for anybody at all times. But I think if you can think of those 3 steps, break down the self-awareness and really get centered with yourself and your intentions and who you truly are, then you can integrate these habit-based strategies and very simple stuff. And it can just become your lifestyle. It doesn't have to be this forced sort of, um, this forced routine.
What are the steps of like that? It seems weird to even ask it, but what are the steps of
It,
getting that awareness? Like I know who I am, but I
yeah,
fucking struggle for the last, like I'm 47 years old, but my up until I was about 40, I could pretty much eat anything and it didn't matter. And now
yeah,
I got to be aware of like calories and like what am I doing for exercise, and it's just completely changed my world for the last 5 years.
yeah. And you're not the only one. And you're going to go through a change again, probably in the next few years. We're constantly evolving and changing. So when I talk about self-awareness, like it is a little bit on the woo side, whether it's journaling, meditation, breath work, whatever it is, because your body is constantly communicating to you what it needs. And if we're not aware of it and we're not in tune with ourselves, we're going to resist it. We're going to listen to everyone else. We're going to try and force these like maybe calorie counting systems or extremes like veganism or the carnivore diet, whatever it is. But if you can kind of center back in, your body will guide you. And if you're like, I literally have no idea what it's saying, I use what's called habit-based strategies. So instead of throwing a plan at somebody, we integrate slowly. So let's say it could just be like, integrating 10 minutes of journaling a day, but then we're also going to add in a serving of protein at every meal and give them the tools around how to do that. And so they start building on these habits, and then you just add another one and another one. And then you can see how your body's going to shift. And then you're like, oh, hey, you know what? Like this really works for me, but this isn't making me feel good. So you can start to listen to what your body's actually telling you.
Right. And I think that's key too, right? Because I can't remember the program I was watching a couple nights back, but there was talking essentially of like you don't need 3 full meals a day. Like listen to your body. It will tell you when it's hungry. It will
100%.
it will tell you when you need to drink water. You just need to listen.
You just need to listen. Yeah. And I mean, if you're not following something or like a good foundation or a baseline, your body's going to be telling you a million different things. So it's really good to kind of, again, come back to the self-awareness, right? If you have that self-awareness piece, you might be hearing like, shit, I'm drinking a little bit too much. It's a bit too much beer in my diet.
Right.
Your body's going to be asking for way too much shit at that point. So if you can kind of slow it down and then again, have your baseline, then you can hear those cues even more so, right? Like, am I hungry right now? Am I actually just thirsty? Do I need to eat a vegetable? It's just like, it's so simple. And it's just like the most foundational thing, but we keep thinking we need all of these other extremes, but we really don't.
Right. And what did you find for you personally? What was the main thing for you to be able to get healthier, lose the weight? What was that one tipping point?
Okay, well, for losing the weight for me was just integrating fitness every single day. And it was small at the beginning. But again, the whole point was for me to find something that I could do consistently. I didn't want to go too hard at the beginning because I knew I would get discouraged. I'd get too sore and then I wouldn't want to do it.
Right.
So I started with as simple as 15 minutes of walking every day on a treadmill, not outside, because I wanted to get into the habit of putting on the gym clothes, going to the gym, just that act of that routine. And then that became habit. And then I started to build on that. And once that started to make me feel good, because it just will, then you're like, well, I don't want to eat the shitty food. I want to feel good. So I'm going to make the better decision. And then it just keeps piling and piling and piling.
Right. It's just a pattern. It's that just get your body used to that style.
It is a pattern for sure. And
Yeah.
it's not glamorous, but it works.
No, it's true. It's true. I saw on your, I think it was today or maybe it was yesterday, your Facebook story where you're talking about having a slow cooker and all
Yeah.
that. And it made me laugh. What are your cheat foods?
Oh, I love French fries. It's no secret. Like
Yeah.
anytime I go out with my friends, they're like, we're obviously ordering fries. I'm like, is it even a question?
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely fries.
And what have you found from working with people over the years? Like, again, another broad stroke question, but like, what do you think the main things that people aren't doing, or maybe they're doing wrong with health and wellness?
A lot of them, what are they doing wrong? Overthinking, for one. Um, Restrictive behavior is a big one. Um, I would definitely say restrictive behavior. When they're going into it, it turns into an all or nothing mentality. And
Hmm.
if you release that a little and just give yourself a little bit more freedom and space to play, then again, the practices just start to roll in a little bit easier. But when we start to think of it as like, okay, I have to go all in, we stress ourselves out before we even start.
Yeah, it really is about balance, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to get outside of health and wellness and what you're known for.
Okay, yeah, sure.
What are you binging lately? What's the binge watch in your house?
I turned on New Girl again. I
Oh
love
yeah.
New Girl.
Again, I love it.
Again. I definitely got into Sex Life when that was on. That was one damn good show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did
Yeah.
you get into the superhero stuff?
No, it's not
No,
really my jam. No, I
yeah,
usually just turn on easy TV just so it's kind of like background
kind of
noise.
background stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What's the worst job you've had?
Oh God, I've had a lot of those. Probably when I was like 16 or 17, I worked at a call center. It wasn't the worst job, but like,
Call center for what?
oh, it was over the phone sales. So back in
Oh
the day,
God.
remember when XM satellite radios were a thing and they would put them in
Yes.
new vehicles? So we were always calling into the States for that's where our clientele were. And these people would buy these brand new cars. And so they would give us their contact info and we'd be like, oh, your subscription's running out. Do you want to buy this service?
Oh my God.
Got into sticky sales at the age of 16, 17.
Yeah. Easy money, but holy shit, that's a
He's
bad
funny
job.
for sure. Yeah.
That's a bad job. Yeah. What was the music like in your house as a kid growing up? What are your parents playing?
Oh, anything from the 50s and 60s. Like,
50s and 60s,
yeah, oh
seriously?
yeah. Oh, they love it. They love
Wow.
that shit. And Michael Jackson too. That was a big one. Michael Jackson. I was definitely raised on Michael Jackson.
50s and 60s blows my mind. That literally is the first. I mean, I've talked to, I don't know, 1,000 people probably on this podcast. Like, that's the first time I've heard 50s and 60s.
Really?
We're
Oh
talking
yeah.
like
My love it.
like pre-Elvis.
Yeah. Oh, there's some
Wow.
Elvis in the mix there too.
Like, yeah, some Elvis in there, but yeah, holy crap,
So,
that's old.
yeah,
Well,
definitely.
that's interesting. So what was your first concert you went to then?
Oh, I'm so embarrassed. It was Britney Spears.
Love it. And how old were you for that?
Oh, I think I was in the fourth grade. So what's that, like 9 years old, 10 years
Yeah,
old?
something like that.
Nine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And
Oh, really cool coming to the city, let me tell you.
what a story with her. And didn't it was like just in the last week or so that she got her life back. Her fucking dad's not in her life controlling her money anymore and shit. Like,
Everyone was just chalking her up to be absolutely nuts, but man, I feel bad for her. Like
how
that's
could you not feel bad for her?
just like she's just like an entertainment mule.
It's terrible, right? Like when you actually
Awful.
get into that story and the hashtag free Britney, like
Yeah.
if you haven't searched it out, people that are listening to this podcast, like go search out. I mean, now it's a bit of an older hashtag, but I'm sure you could still find stuff.
Yeah.
Hashtag free Britney is fucking eye-opening.
It's insane. I know. It's fucked up. It's actually really disgusting and quite telling of what that industry must have in their dark corners.
Oh, totally. I mean,
Right?
it's just, yeah, it's just head shaking for sure.
Yeah, totally.
It's an impossible question. I'll ask it anyway.
Okay, go.
Which 3 albums do you need if
Okay.
you're stranded on a deserted island? It says a
Um,
lot about you, by the way, Irene.
Man, this is kind of a shit question for me because I'm just such a mix of music and I don't
Um,
have like 3 specific albums. Is
really?
that bad? Is that bad?
No, I mean, it's
I
not
just make
bad.
a
It's
playlist
odd.
on like on
Like,
Spotify or something. I know that's really like that's
like
bad.
who are your key bands right now? Like top 5 bands.
Um,
What are you
now,
listening to lately?
now I feel on the spot. I feel like I have
Nice. You're like, give me a sec. I'll just check my Spotify.
yeah, basically.
I really got into that new I've always been a fan, but I really got into that new Kings of Leon
Oh
record.
yeah.
It's
See,
really
I'm on
good.
a bit of a country binge right now, just because
Oh,
it's summertime. I love country music. But I mean, I can listen to anything from like The Game to
yeah.
Luke Bryan to
What what was that one song I heard that I really liked? It was something about "Are you one of them girls?"
oh yeah, great
That
song.
I can't remember what the guy's name is, but it's
Yeah, I don't even
solid song. It was one of those like it was on
like,
TikTok. It was like he was like, here's the response for the other side of the "Are you one of them boys that just wants to roll in the hay" kind of thing, right?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
you want to meet my mom, or you want to fuck off kind of thing. Like it was pretty cool to see that other side of it.
What about reggaeton? Are you into reggaeton?
No, who,
What? No
who,
Latin music?
no. I mean, I'm a rock
Yeah,
guy. You know that.
yeah, no, that's fair. That's
I'm a
fair.
I've always been a rock guy.
Yeah,
Probably
no,
never
that's
change.
yeah.
What's your favorite app on your phone?
My favorite app or the one that I tend to use the most.
Yeah, really could be different, I guess. Both.
Right? I mean, obviously, I'm just always on the Instagrams. It's like it's kind of bad, isn't it? And probably Uber Eats.
Uber Eats. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Are you a gambler?
No, I'm not.
Really?
No, it's
Interesting.
not really my jam.
Hmm.
What are you?
Not, I wouldn't say I'm a gambler, but I definitely don't shy away from it. Like if I'm over at a buddy's place and we're watching Canucks game or UFC fights or whatever,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, $20 on buddy," I'll be like, yeah, fuck, whatever.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Sitting
That's
around
fair. I
drinking
think
beer
that's
and
got to be
shit. But
more of a guy thing. I don't want to judge genders here, but like I feel like
yeah,
that's more of a guy egging each other on kind of vibe.
that might be, it might be, yeah. Uh, what's the ideal first date?
Am I meeting this person like initially in real life, or is this like
Is
a
the
dating app first date?
dating app first date?
Probably just something like coffee or a beverage, just because you never know what someone's gonna be like, right?
Yeah, 'cause that way you can deke real
You
quick. Now,
run,
is
right?
this something that you'll say to like a girlfriend, like call me in 20
I
minutes?
literally had this the other day.
Right.
I was like, I need to be saved right now. You have to call me. And I was like, but put on like a full Oscar winning a performance. She's like, I got you.
Yeah. You got to be able to get out of there safe. You got to have a deke.
You.
Got
I
to
saw
be able
something
to.
that Kelsey Handler was starting, or maybe she did start. It was like some kind of app where like you could preset texts to come in, like delivered on your phone, just in case like a date or something isn't going well.
No
And then it'll
way.
pop up and you could be like, look, like, see,
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Oh,
My
my girl needs me. See you
yeah,
later.
exactly.
Wow. It's a great
Yeah,
idea.
it's
Hey,
brilliant.
this is a loaded question. It's a huge question.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
In terms of my business or
Yeah,
just life,
your
my
business and
business.
just kind of life in general.
Well, now that I'm on this whole path with creating courses online, I'm pretty excited about that. So I definitely want to get into more people's spaces through that and just kind of put out my messaging that way. I am really happy with my one-on-one clients, but the internet world is pretty crazy. And I think that's something that got developed during COVID, right? And
Big time.
I'm just looking forward to that and being able to travel more and being able to work from anywhere, which is really nice. So, yeah, that's kind of where I feel like I'm heading.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
But
cool. So these courses, they're going to be through your website, right?
they will be, yeah. So I'm just kind of on the search for the right marketing agency right now to put that out there. But yeah, there's some exciting stuff. It's like a lot of new green phases with where my business is going. So
Right.
I'm excited. Yeah.
And how do people beyond irenej.com,
Yeah.
how do people get a hold of you on social media? Like what are your platforms on Insta, and do you have Twitter?
I don't have Twitter yet. I just started a YouTube channel as well, so stay tuned for those videos to come through, but they're not there yet.
Okay.
But Instagram is the best way right now, so it's just Irene Jay _.
Okay.
Yep,
Pretty
and
simple.
very simple.
Yeah.
Everything's yeah.
Nice. What's the plan for the rest of the night?
I mean, you're kind of looking at it, to be honest. I have a bit of work to do. I have another course that I'm taking right now. So that's pretty much it. Just keeping it low key. I'm into this rainy day vibe. Obviously, my slow cooker
Yeah.
still.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy the rest of the night.
Oh,
Thank
thank you
you
so much,
again
Todd.
for quickly jumping on here. And I
Of
guess
course.
we'll see you online as we always do.